Okay, so this is the VIC-20 computer which I converted into a Commodore 64. As you can see, it's playing Monty on the Run, and you can hear the music in the background. And it has improved a little bit since we last spoke about it. I haven't done anything with the case yet, but the actual computer itself has had an addition of a 4-port hub in the back, and that's to allow the keyboard to be used as a USB keyboard if I need to on other projects. So it's not just restricted to a Commodore emulating machine. And as you can hear, the sound's quite close, but what we're going to do is we're going to check the sound out against the original in a little while. And that would be quite interesting to see how close it really is. But the computer is almost done. We're just going to have to do something with the case. I might do that on the next episode. So we're going to use a guinea pig of Marcus today, because he's going to play a couple of these machines. What we're going to do is we're going to compare the Commodore 64, the original, to the new 64 Maxi, or the 64, or the 64, and we're going to compare it to this version as well and see which one comes off the easiest to use and the best, or is there any real difference?
Obviously it's way better than using one of those things, a joystick. It's way better using a joystick, because you don't have to use 5 fingers. Oh, it's so hard using this. And which one? Yes! What? Oh, green jump makes you jump forward for you.
So now what, you're using a joypad?
Huh?
You're using a joypad now?
Yeah.
So you're using a joypad now because your keyboard, too many keys, wasn't there?
Yeah. Too hard too, because I had to use 5 fingers.
So now we're going to change over machines, but this time for a PC, personal computer, an IBM PC style, running Monty on the Run on an emulator, okay? So it's going to probably be the same, but you tell me if it's any different, okay? So we've got Monty on the Run. You can hear it still playing the music away. Sounds very similar, but it's running on a PC instead, and we're just going to try it out and see if there's any real difference, okay? So again, mostly using a keyboard. She's going to try it out and see what he thinks. And this is running on a modern Windows 10 PC.
It looks very different. It looks so different.
Okay, as he's playing the game, one thing you notice is the colours are quite muted on the PC version.
Hey, that's what I said. That's what I said. It looks different.
Yeah. They're a bit more kind of pastel-y rather than vibrant. But other than that, it seems to be exactly the same. So there's no difference when you're playing them. The speed's the same. The way they play the same.
Yeah.
It's just slightly different colours.
Yeah.
Would that bother you?
No, it wouldn't bother me at all.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the PC version away, and we're going to play the C64 version, the new C64 Maxi version, and see if there's any real difference. So there's the new C64 and the one I created at the back. They look fairly similar, which they should do. Okay, and then you got the C64 running. And we're just going to find Monty on the Run. And here we are, is Monty on the Run, running on the C64 Maxi. So how does it play? Does it play the same?
Same.
Or is it any difference in the way it looks?
Different the way it looks.
Does it look more like this version than the PC version?
It looks a lot like the PC version.
Right. But the colours aren't as muted as the PC version, are they? No, they're the same as the first one you played, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell any difference in the sound?
No.
No? Good. Right, does this keyboard feel as nice as the one behind it?
No.
In what way? Nice, or is it spongier, or is it...
Spongy.
Right, press the one behind it. Just press anything on it. No, on the keys. Now press the same keys on the new one.
So K, J, H, K, J,
Which ones feel spongy or not as nice?
This one feels better.
Yeah, good. That's what I said when I reviewed it. That's exactly what I said. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so just have another quick go in the game, and then we'll put the original Commodore on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put an original Commodore 64 and then try Monty on the Run, and we'll use the bread bin Commodore 64 exactly like these machines. Okay, so here's the original Commodore 64 bread bin with the original hardware with the SID chip, and we're just going to try and see if there's any difference. So off you go, see what this one's like.
Different. This one's way different.
In what way?
These ones are green, blue, green, blue, green, blue.
Yeah, that's just because it's using RF. It's not HDMI.
Oh, this one is way fuzzier. That's what I see. This one's way fuzzier. Look. Literally so fuzzy. That's annoying.
So, you played all 4 Commodore variants or emulated machines. There, we'll start off with the original one there, the original Commodore 64.
This was really slightly slow. The music was slightly slower, and the program of the game was slightly slower.
Then we move on to the one I built, the VIC-20 cased one.
That was the best because the keys were a lot softer and nicer, and the keyboard was a lot softer.
And then we have the recreated, or the Commodore 64 Maxi. What did you think of that one?
Quite jiggly, because the keys were like that, like really jiggly.
Okay. So the keys weren't as good?
No.
No, okay, that's fine. And then we went on to the PC, okay? You said about the colours look different.
Yeah, the colours were out of colour.
Okay.
They weren't the same, they were completely different colours.
That could have just been the monitor though, because we used the monitor on that one and
yeah.
HDMI and an RF TV on the others.
Yeah. look different.
But did they all play the same?
Yes.
And could you tell any difference between them?
No.
So if you were given one, you wouldn't know any difference really.
If I got given one and it was like the if it was like the slow one, I would not know.
So if it was the original one,
If it was this one, I would not know if it was fast or slow because I would not even tell.
so what you say, does it matter if it's an original Commodore 64
Doesn't matter.
or an emulated one or a
PC.
copy one or a PC? Does it matter?
No. Music's better.
The music's better.
Yeah. Slightly deeper.
In what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so which do you think has the best tone, sound out of all of them?
This one.
That one.
Yeah.
And this is the Commodore 64 Maxi. Okay, this is the original Commodore 64. So the again the C64 original seems to be slightly different. It's kind of a step out compared to the emulated ones, and probably due to the processing, but it does have a slightly different tone. And from these two snapshots, you can see they're still very, very close. And you know, the emulated one seems to be only ever so slightly out of step, but not by much, not enough that you would actually hear it. And both machines play really well. So I don't think there's a concern whether these machines are emulated or not, because you've got the functionality, they do the same. For all intents and purposes, it will be the same software that's running. And it's nice to keep the original versions of these machines safe and secure so they last a bit longer. And I think that's the route we have to go, is to, you know, emulate more machines, but trying to get recreated cases and so on for them to make them look more authentic. And as I said, the way they play, the way they act, the way they react is much better. The Windows emulation isn't so good though, because it just takes too long for somebody to launch a package via Windows, then launch an emulator and then get it running, and you'd still need quite a lot of power behind the machine, where something like a Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi and so on don't. They can run virtually natively. At the end of the day, the emulation route is a good route. It's probably better than trying to recreate the hardware in the long term, because it's going to be more reliable and you can do more with it. The other side of the coin is that trying to keep these original machines going is now getting very difficult. Maybe we should put our efforts into recreating the system boards for these, but I think as long as we have single board computers and so on, it's a good route. It's not a bad route to go. So we need to try and make a viable way of recreating the classic micro. So yeah, the bit of an argument about whether emulation works or not and whether it's a good route. Well, I kind of think, especially on the Commodore machines, it's probably one of the best ways to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you liked our look into emulation to find out if it's viable or not, and I hope going forward we use a little bit more to keep the software running. Okay, so thanks for your time, thanks for watching, thanks a lot, bye bye.